On today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about some updates on T Rex and Bigg K. There's been some quotes going around. T Rex has gotten a chance to do an interview on 15 Minutes of Fame and Hip Hop is Real to talk a little bit about the battle. Also, we're going to talk about Chayna Ashley, man. She's been circulating in the news. She dropped a hit list on 15 Minutes of Fame, sent some tweets to some MCs, and has rattled some feathers. And now she's found herself in a couple back and forth engages. And we're going to talk about all that today on Let's Talk Battle Rap Podcast. You already know where to follow the show. Let's Talk Battle Rap, all social media platforms, LTBR Podcast. Let's Talk BattleRap.com. Another edition of your Locked On Battle Rap Podcast. You know, not a lot to talk about today, but we still got something to talk about today. So let's get into it. All right, man. So we know T Rex versus Bigg K has been announced on the GTX Battle of the Bay card. And, you know, I want to talk a little bit about two things, right? I want to talk about this match and also Bigg K's year so far. Because Bigg K is legitimately, like, if Champion of the Year ended June 30th, 2023, or if we just crown the champion at the halfway mark of the year, it's Bigg K. It's Bigg K. There's no question about it. It's absolutely Bigg K, right? And when you look at his year so far, obviously the performance of the night, Divide Conquer, won against A Ward, a grudge match, and a very dominant win against somebody that you don't necessarily see get dominated or even lose clearly that frequently. You know what I'm saying? The last time A Ward lost a battle clearly like that, I say Excel. Before that, maybe Ilmac. But like in the span of the handful of years A Ward's been battling, in these 20, 30, 40, 50 battles, like you're not going to find a lot of these clear losses. And not only was Bigg K able to deliver one of those to him, he gave it to him in such high fashion that it ended up catapulting him into a level that got him a Murder Mook battle. Who would have known that A Ward catching a flu back in November of 2022, and that postponed his battle from happening, would have eventually springboard and had this butterfly effect for Bigg K to potentially be a Champion of the Year contender. It almost makes you want to like grab a time machine and be like, "Hey, Ward, just go over there and battle sick. Just battle sick. All right. He won't get all the credit for it because you were sick. You might not win the battle, but if you lose and in this fashion, you prevent a lot of things from happening in the future." I'm joking. But so Bigg K did have some tweets out when he talked about his T-Rex battle, and he mentioned how the rounds for the battle are going to be between 90 seconds to 2 minutes. And some people that I won't name on this show, were kind of talking to Bigg K saying, "Oh, I don't really like the battle being that short." And Bigg K's like, "That's the perfect time for the battle. You guys don't understand that nowadays battles are just way too long." And, Bigg K is somebody that has, always from time to time been very, 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 very firm on meeting his contractual obligations when it comes to the time limits. This is not a man that's going to give you anything extra. I mean, for A War, he gave something extra. For Murder Mook, he gave something extra. The A War battle, obviously, he had extra time to prepare for. And the Murder Mook battle, you cannot not just stick to the time limits against Murder Mook, right? So, with 90-second to 2-minute rounds against against T Rex, Bigg K pretty much is talking about this is the perfect time period for it. And I want to ask you guys, how do you feel about the rounds being 2 minutes, 90 seconds to 2 minutes? You know what I mean? Go ahead and drop a comment below if you like this format or you think this leads to them having a very good battle. Me personally, I'm going to agree with Bigg K, man. As somebody that's covering battle rap, it's watching it, talking about it. This has become a business for a handful of us in media. We would like less content. I'm sorry. We would like shorter content. Let me phrase that correctly. We would like shorter content. We would very, very, very much like shorter content because, bruh, like grind time battles, you could binge watch about 4 or 5 grind time battles in an hour. Now an hour might get you through a battle. And you got to watch all these interviews around it to like get some of the backstory and the insight to how these things went. And I really genuinely believe that if you gave somebody 6 months off of their job, right, and you said, "Hey, you have 40 hours a week to just watch battle rap, watch interviews, brush up on the history. You got 6 months, and you're gonna commit 40 hours a week to this." I don't think you catch up with everything. And I really don't think you catch up with everything. I really don't. You could spend almost 1,000 hours on this, and you probably still wouldn't catch up on everything. It's just it's that massive. So when you get a chance to get these refreshing battles that might be under 20 minutes, best believe like nothing makes me happier than clicking on a battle and it's less than 25 minutes. So I could watch this and get back to my regular day afterwards. Cool. Click. And T Rex took it upon himself to do an interview on 15 Minutes of Fame and Hip Hop is Real. Talks about Bigg K. Says, I respect Bigg K. Quote, I respect Bigg K. He's a man with no melanin that's talking our shit. And he acts like he's from it, but that's the key word. He acts. He also went off to say that anybody that can compete with Murder Mook is a formidable opponent. So he has a lot of respect for Bigg K, and I think it's very interesting the optics of this, right? Because it's like you are literally battling Bigg K right after, he battled Mook. Like that's giving somebody some type of accolade that has not happened in battle rap ever. Maybe it's happened obviously in the DVD days where these guys are battling from corner to corner. We've never seen it. It's not on camera, so we don't know much about it for real. But in the modern era, there hasn't been anybody to battle both those guys in the same year, let alone back to back. The closest variation of it was Easy to Block Captain, and even then, he still had the chess battle in between, and the Mook battle never happened. So, Bigg K is about to be in very special territory with this one right here. You know what I'm saying? This is a gratified air, and I'm kind of shocked, truth be told, that he decided to make his way out to Oakland for this one. Honestly, I really am, only because it's like I feel like there's a level of validation that comes with battling somebody after you see them do very good, right? Like whenever Surf used to be behind Rock and somebody does really good against Rock, and then you see Surf on Twitter afterwards talking about, oh, I'm gonna smoke you, I'm gonna clip you, I'll make sure I kill your dumb ass, like almost validating that person had a very good performance against Rock. I mean, you can't take nothing away from Bigg K neither, because Bigg K did have a really great performance against Murder Mook, but it just kind of furthers the nozzle a little bit. It's like, damn, like even if you got him, you can say you got him losing, but subconsciously by doing this, it's a win in his book. So what does this mean for Bigg K's Champion of the Year standing? We'll see how competitive the battle is. We'll see the type of victory he gets. But I'll tell you what, man, at this point of the year, once you start to get people that are shaping up to become contenders after like the halfway mark or a little bit past the third quarter of the year, you start to really analyze everybody's moves. You know who the last like 3 to 6 guys that are really, really in the race to have a really good case for themselves. You know who those guys are. And they start taking transactions because all the fans are mentioning them. People are talking about them. We start doing these panels, these lists. They're projected at the top, or they have a very good chance of just closing out the year with this award. So, like, don't be surprised that you see a lot of people very supportive of Bigg K, even in the world where he has a debatable, because he'll be a battle away from really sealing the deal. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about Chayna Ashley, but first, let's get into some music here. Shout out to my man Rada.
My heart been broke many times. Love again, ain't no way. I can never go back. May look how far I done came. If you're going through the struggle, homie, yeah, it's okay. It's okay to let it hurt, but just don't harbor the pain. And lately, my life is spinning out of control. Way young in this setting, man, I swear I don't know. I'm prepared for whatever as I go down this road. I'ma always be 100, I put that on my soul. I used to be so calm and cool, but I done lost my patience. I pull the stool up on the fool without no hesitation. Just hope the Lord forgive me for all these situations. If it lead to chopper busting and these pistols spraying. And every time I showed love, all I got was the hate. And every time I was real, man, y'all just chose to be fake. And every time I gave my trust, man, I was betrayed. So don't be talking about the youngin' and about how I change. And man, you always gonna learn. You gonna learn from mistakes. And even perfect timing feel like I be too late. Man, I'm full speed ahead, I'm never pumping my brakes. I gotta get it right now, cause shit don't change if you wait. And with that being said, man, I do what I do. When it comes to this game, they don't play by the rules. I know they true intentions, but I play it cool. Always play my position, but
All right, man. Big shout out to Rada. You know what I mean? We back. We back. We back. Chayna Ashley being in the middle of a Twitter war is not something that I was expecting to talk about today. But it's gonna be something we talk about today. So on 15 Minutes of Fame, she went and did have a hit list for battles that she wants. She says, Jade, I want to kill her. She says Jade is super fire. Then she mentions Miss Miami. She says, I gotta kill Miss Miami. That actually would have been a better matchup for me than Torido. Then she goes on to list a couple more names. She says, they still want to see me versus Prestavia, so I want to cook her. Me versus Hustle, Casey, Vixen. My resume is elite, and I got so many names left. And while I do want to see Chayna Ashley be active and be out here, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing where all these matches take place. I don't think we've ever seen her on URL. Queen of Rings a little, a little inactive nowadays, to say the least. And Chrome 23, we will see when their next event is. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of matches available still for her. I'm guessing she's seen all of her peers making this money, and she wants a piece of it. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her. You know what I mean? However, she did tweet out one individual today, or I should say yesterday, and it's never a good idea to tweet this individual. All right. There's certain people that you have to just stay away from because it's like they're gonna play the internet game, they're gonna go to war, they're gonna make a blog about you, a Twitter space, they're gonna rant about you, they're gonna troll you, clown you, they're gonna say everything to you, they're gonna put you on the grill. And unless you're ready to combat that with the same level of effort, content, and energy, sometimes it's just best to leave them alone. Sometimes it's even best to not even challenge them because you don't even want to be in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? And this individual is Aye Verb. Chayna Ashley had a tweet towards Aye Verb, says, do you guys think Aye Verb is a top or a bottom? Yikes. You think Aye Verb would take kindly to that? Absolutely not. He went on a Twitter space and went off and called her Grimace. He called her a melted ice cream cone. He called her a folded bag of laundry. He called her many disrespectful names. And the best part about it is this isn't even the first Twitter space he did about it. He's done two more after that. So he did one yesterday, then one this morning. I think he's doing one right now as we're recording this show. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. So Chayna Ashley in the Twitter war with Aye Verb. Yikes. This is not what you want. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. But then she did get into something with Yoshi. I don't really necessarily know how it started, truth be told. Um, maybe because Yoshi was co-hosting or sitting in the space when Verb is obviously going off and ranting. But Chayna Ashley tweets out, I think I'm blocked, but somebody tell Yoshi G that I will dog slap the ish out of her. And Yoshi G tweets back, Shayna said, what? Tell Miss Mama to find something safe to play with before he tells me to come outside. And then, Yoshi's just adding on to the promo. And Yoshi's a sickle, man. The more you show that Yoshi's getting under your skin, the more control she has, because at that point she is like enamored and more motivated to continuously get under your skin. She shakes the table. She does all these little. Another person, your best bet is to ignore her. All right, because the minute you give her some attention, it starts to grow, and she keeps finding ways to just irritate you, and just before you know it, you you lined up with a Yoshi battle, and then people all of a sudden say, "Hey, listen, that hit list was cool, but what about this Yoshi battle?" Chayna Ashley's going on Black Compass tonight, actually, to do an interview. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow, to be continued. And guess who has an interview with Black Compass the hour after Chayna Ashley? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yoshi G. So best believe that there's going to be something said between the two of them tonight. And when that's said, we'll be back here Friday morning to report that. And listen, you're going to have to ignore Yoshi, or you're going to end up standing in front of her. There's no other way around it. And I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Somehow, some way, Yoshi has found herself into this level of top tierdom. She's not going anywhere. So whatever Chayna says tonight and whatever Yoshi responds back afterwards, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. All right, man. Before we close out the show, because it's gonna be a quicker show today. GTX just says here, or Disaster says that GTX still has two more announcements on the way for their Battle of the Bay X event. And truth be told, I'm very curious to see what these last announcements are. So far, I want to say I haven't seen an Ilmac announcement. Ilmac, are you on this card? There ain't no way that the Source Disaster is on a Battle of the Bay card and Ilmac is it. There's just no way, right? So I'm if I'm going to personally go to the ATM, pull out every single dollar that I have in my Bank of America account, and bet the house that Ilmac is on this card. All right, you can't convince me otherwise. And Disaster, you haven't announced your opponent yet, but let me tell you something, sir. I watched the next battle. I, I know who it is. All right. And for those out there that's like, oh, France, why don't you say it? This is the first time you gave us this hint. Look, again, go watch the next battle. All right. If you go watch the next battle and drop the comments below as to who you think Disaster is battling next, we could talk about it tomorrow in a very speculative way because obviously it's not confirmed or announced. But I know what's going on here. All right. And I like that battle for Disaster. And I like that battle for his opponent. So I'm here for it. All right, man. But we're going to wrap it up. It's a very light show today. Tomorrow we have a lot more to talk about with Chayna Ashley and Yoshi G. Obviously, I did see Nun did an interview with Three Letterman as well today, so we're going to talk about some Nun updates because he had a little hiatus. I'm sure chaos is afoot, so be tuned for a very jam-packed Friday show. But today is Locked On Battle Rap Show. It's going to be nice, quick, and smooth. We are out of here. Hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day. And again, once again, as always, check out the link in the bio. Go ahead and support our LTBR staff reporter, family member, Tata. The link is going to be in the bio the entire week. Just go ahead and give it a click, drop some money in there, or just share the link. Anything goes a long way. We appreciate everybody out there listening, as always. Have a good one, y'all.